Hi, Jerome.
Hi there, Carla.
How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Great to see you.
So nice to see you. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Today's been a beautiful day already. The sun is shining, you know.
Where are you?
I'm I'm actually in Texas. I'm in a little state called Texas here in USA.
Oh, that's nice.
hmm Is it coming in clear for you? I just want to make sure you can see and hear me, okay?
I can. Can you?
Okay, beautiful, beautiful.
Jessica's
Yes,
here,
how is,
by the way.
say again?
Jessica's here in the live, by the
Oh, hey,
way.
hey, hey, Jessica, she's the one that
I just
connected us.
wanted to make sure we said thank you because she was the one that connected us.
Definitely. Yeah, yeah, making this connection happen, I'm pleased to be here, in this space, on your platform. You've been projecting all this positive energy, and I'm really interested in so many things.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually got the call to, or I felt the intuition coming through to do the live with you
hmm
because, and Jessica told me I always kind of scan before I do it just to make sure we have a good
Yeah.
connection. So yeah, I felt it to be very resonant. So that's why I wanted you to be here and to spend this time with you.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. Wow. I mean, where do we start when it comes to, like you said, you told me that there are friends that call you Carla, but there are also, you have a starseed name, Alalea.
Mhm.
Alalea. So for people who don't know much about starseeds, how does one get granted a starseed name?
Yeah, so that's I started channeling the beings about 2 to 3 years ago, and they were the ones that gave me my name, my last name.
hmm
So at the beginning, I wouldn't use it because honestly, I didn't even know they existed.
Okay. And how many, you said, how many years ago did you find out they existed?
3 years ago.
So 3 years ago. Wow. Wow. So who was Carla 3 years ago, like before Alalea?
I was a mess.
What? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah, I was a mess. I was going through a lot of anxiety, depression.
hmm
So that's how I started channeling because the beings started helping me to get through it.
hmm
So
hmm
once that happened, I connected first with the Andromedans.
hmm
And we're gonna channel them later because I want you to meet yours.
Okay.
But they were the ones that connected with me first, and then I met the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, the Orion Council. So it started getting bigger.
Wow.
They were the ones that first healed me or were in my journey with healing.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah.
channeling is Andromedan. That's why I can channel many of them.
hmm hmm The Andromedan. And when it comes to people discovering the existence of these beings, what do you feel like is the barrier that stops people from either being contacted or even receiving that kind of a transmission from a galactic being?
Mm-hmm. So it depends which galactic being, because the Andromedans, for example, they're super subtle.
Mm,
So sometimes they don't come down.
okay.
But then you might find the Pleiadians to be closer. So we mostly don't connect because we don't know about them.
Right.
And we
Okay.
don't think they can be in the reality with us. Like you don't believe they can be with you having like a cup of water.
Mm, okay. So even just the belief could block?
Yeah. It could block because you're saying you don't want them.
Mm-hmm. So if you don't believe that they could be in your reality, you won't perceive in your reality. You won't receive in your reality if you don't believe in your reality.
Yeah, like when I received the help, it was because I had a brain injury because of a medication that they gave me for anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no other help. I was just like, I need help. So I was just asking for help. So I was subconsciously opening my space for beings to help me.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know it was my belief
Right.
that something bigger could help me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you have to have a belief that first you have to stop the blockages that we think they're not friendly.
Mhm.
So because you are scared, so they're not gonna scare you, so they don't come.
Okay. Okay. So when you invited them and they accepted that invitation to come help you, in what way did they help you?
Yes, so I was taking the medication that supposedly was gonna help me for anxiety, but it gave me a brain injury. So I needed to take away the medication, but I didn't know how because nobody knew how, not even the doctors. So how they helped me first was very mundane. So it was just like you need to put the dosage like this, lower it like this, do that. So it was very like step by step. And then it became huge. It was like we're your family, we're gonna heal your brain, we're gonna make you like have premonitions, you're gonna be more psychic. I was like, oh wow. So now I feel them, I see them, like they're like my friends. Like I can go to the movies and I just feel them in the seats.
Oh my God. Wow. Wow. So you're never alone. You're always with them. They're always with you.
Yeah, because that was something that I needed. Because I didn't know if I was gonna continue to move on in life. Like I needed help. So it was a contract, like for me to stay on earth, but I also gave my life to give the messages.
Okay. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow. So Carla, when you say that, they helped open you up to different psychic abilities,
Mm-hmm.
how do you explain that? Are they like tweaking us or opening us up or bringing us to a new frequency, a new vibration? How does that work?
Yeah, so they get your DNA and they see where you've been before. So they saw that I was like they do it in percentages because I'm also very logical. So I think that's why they do it like that. But they say like, oh, this soul has been in Andromeda before 10 times, 10 lifetimes. So for Earth, it would be best for this person to change more Andromedan like or more Arcturian like. So they get that DNA and they kind of make yours more active to them, so you vibrate higher, but you have their belief systems.
Mhm, mhm. Okay. You're vibrating higher, but with their belief systems
Yes, all
to.
civilizations work differently. They're all one, so
Mhm.
the first rule is we're all one, even humans.
Yeah.
But for example, Pleiadians are closer to my body right now because I'm talking. So Arcturians, Andromedans, they don't talk. They don't. They have the memory of talking, but they don't really do it that much. So the Pleiadians kind of like guard my body while I'll talk.
Okay. 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 This is so much to take in. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to absorb it all. So, one of my
You're
mentors.
also a star seed. That's why I contacted you because you're also a star seed.
Mm, oh man. What about me did you see that?
Well, when I saw your profile to see if I would do the live, I would see all these lineages. So I can tell you if you want.
Of course. Of course.
So first, I thought you were Pleiadian because Jessica said he likes Pleiadians, and then I saw no, he's opening more to the Arcturian energy.
Mm,
But you also have Andromedan and Pleiadian. It's just more asleep. So asleep means that right now you don't need it. So your body's not gonna use it now because it needs the Arcturian.
mm,
So it kind of puts your purpose or your meeting people or your interviews or your projects to be co-created with them. So they can come in and help you.
okay. Okay.
But it's
This is
that they're interested in. So that's why it's like Arcturians. What you're doing every day, it's calling the Arcturians.
okay. Okay. This is so interesting that you say that, Carla, because I did have one of my friends tell me when they looked into my eyes, she looked into my eyes and she said she noticed Arcturian in my eyes.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, how could you tell Arcturian from my eyes? I was so perplexed.
Well, I can see Pleiadian too, and I can see Andromedan. So it's not only Arcturian, you can contact them all. It's
Okay.
just that you have that one more active right now. It's probably that you incarnated in all of them.
Hmm.
So you're on Earth right now, but you've been in all those planes, so you can access them all. Most people don't have one only.
Okay.
That's kind of weird. They mostly have a mixed.
Multiple. Okay. So when it comes to the mission or the purpose with Arcturians, what do you feel Arcturians are here to do?
Mm. So I love Arcturians. They're like our parents, I would say. Like it's Pleiadian, Arcturians, Andromedans. Andromedans are like grandparents. So the Arcturians are all about healing. They love technology. They're very advanced. They're all in ships, so like a lot of starships all over. And you can access the ships. So they're not only here to look, because Andromedans sometimes they only look. The Arcturians are here and they put the spaceships and you can go up. So they're very friendly with humanity because they feel like it's their duty to help.
Now, when it comes to human and humanity, you know, because I love that you say it's their duty to help. Within humans, you know, one might say that there are people who are more benevolent, and then there are others who are more malevolent. Like there are people who have good intentions and people who might have bad intentions. So when it comes to these beings, do they work the same or is it different?
So it depends on the civilization, because what you were saying comes from a 3D perspective.
Right.
So if you contact the Pleiadians, they still have the benevolent or malevolent kind of division in a different way, because they're in another dimension still, but they believe that could still exist and they're closer to that belief system. But if you go higher, they don't believe in that, because since you create all, you are being more benevolent or more malevolent, and then you're making people even more or less. So it's not the outside. So every time you perceive something outside, it's because you are that and you are activating it in you more. So that's in other dimensions. So it depends where you are, but in 3D, I can totally understand. So that's why it depends on the belief systems or the knowledge you want to tune into.
So are you saying like the higher you go dimensionally, the higher you go, there's really no good or bad,
no,
righteous or evil? There's none of that.
Like female, male, no.
Even gender?
You can.
Okay.
I see them change, so they might go from like, right now I have a female body, but if I get a lot of Andromedans, they become me, so it's more neutral, so I don't even feel like a female.
Okay. Wow. How has this, you know, the knowledge, the psychic abilities, like everything that they were able to attune you with, how has that allowed you or assisted you in operating, you know, throughout society, throughout a world like this? How is it assisted you, you know?
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot because when that happened, I couldn't see. So I couldn't see, I couldn't hear. I was 1 year like a vegetable when I had the brain injury. Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing is that I became myself again. Like I was able to see, to hear, to touch. But then my emotions are huge. So, like if I'm being, normally I'm super sweet. So if I go to a restaurant, I might order like a bowl of fruits and I'm so grateful. Like, thank you. And you will think that's nice. But since that happened, it's not like that. I notice everybody, their energy in the restaurant. And if it's not worth it for me to be so grateful, I don't do it. Because it's like a waste of energy. So I just stayed in neutral. I wouldn't do that because I'm so giving. It became more about being me, like caring for my own energy source.
Okay, so you placed more importance on your own self-care.
Yes, in a multi-dimensional way, because I can see why I should do it, what's coming next because I do it, all of that.
Okay, so in a multi-dimensional way, you were able to see what these actions or what you would do in that moment would lead to. And if it didn't...
I have an example with you, because I know it's difficult.
Okay.
So if you wouldn't have done this live today, because there's thousands of possibilities, we tuned in to do it, but we tuned in to not do it, right? I could have said no, you could have said no, whatever. So because we did it today, you vibrate differently because things happen, because we're doing this right now. Like the Arcturians might go where you are, they might give you new ideas, you might come back. I feel energized because I like you, like you're a good person. So the moment changed. And then because we took this decision, tomorrow I'm going to feel better because of today. And then tomorrow I create a new reality from today.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So when we're talking about, you know, we're in a new reality, like we're in this reality because we chose to be in this one. We made the choice to come together to have this conversation, we raising our vibration. Is it to say that there are parallel realities happening at the same time or in the same moment? Like, does the reality where we didn't go live, does that reality still exist?
Let me ask. So they say no. So because we are always in the present, you are always getting things from the future. So the past, depending on who you tune into, because we all have our own channels. So we all have our angels, our guides, right? We all have our own channels. They're always protecting us. The problem is when you don't have any protection, the past, the future potentials you didn't activate, the ones that stayed in non-activation, but they still happen, but they're in a past vibration, they can come into you tomorrow and they can like mess up your day. Which I know it's weird, but let's say tomorrow, because you didn't get the best potential today, tomorrow you're extra tired. So you just get more tired, more tired, more tired, more tired. And then you have to get a new potential that's higher vibrational to be able to pull out from the tiredness. And sometimes that's a lot of work.
Okay. Okay. And you know what to do to be energy efficient so that you do the work that needs to be done to get the best potential.
Yeah, because if you're doing bad, I can help you. But if I'm doing bad and you're doing bad, we need another help, you know? So like it makes sure that we can stay in the best potentials the most often, because sometimes things happen, but the most often, so that you can also raise the vibration and the potentials of other people.
Whoa, 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 that's amazing. Whoa. Can you say that last part one more time? You can raise the other potential.
Yeah, so you raise the potential of yourself. I mean, the ultimate purpose for you to do all of this, or you or myself, is for us to help others raise their own potentials and energy. Mm-hmm. So if you don't do that for you, then you can't really be of help, because one good future potential, like a really good one, can help like 10 people. But if you don't care for you, or you don't know you have access to those, then the past realities, the ones that are not really that friendly, might try to get you, because they know you have a lot of energy, so they want to create with you. That's why it's good to co-create, which is something that they teach. Like, let's say you're this life, or you're gonna do another life, you ask maybe for the angels or for Arcturians to protect you. So meanwhile you're doing the moment, the experience, you have guides like providing for you, so you don't get a lot of, let's say, negative thoughts or doubt or bad emotions that are coming from the past, but they're coming from the past because they want to create futures.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I
know it's not easy at all.
Yeah.
The thing is not easy at all. That's why I always try to explain it. Like with you, I'm kind of sensing which questions we can answer, because you're in a level of already knowing. Mm-hmm. But for some people, it might just be like you need to leave your husband or you need to sell your car or whatever, because that's what they need, like very basic.
Okay. And that can be shattering for some people, you know?
Yes. But if they don't do it, they stay in the bad potentials, you know?
Okay.
There's no good or bad, but you prefer the good.
Okay. And you're saying with co-creation, when we come together with that collaboration, it makes it more powerful. It's more powerful that way?
This is funny, because we wouldn't, you know, when somebody's a show-off, we say, oh, that person is a show-off. But aliens love showing off. So when you, for example, co-create with the Arcturians, or right now that we know we have beings here helping me answer the questions and all of that, the universe sees it. So it's more like showing off. And then everybody wants to help. They want to help you. They want to help me. They want to help all of us, just because we're more bright. It's like throwing a coin, right? You want the head that's going to win to turn up. Mm-hmm. So if these people are in light, I'm going to put my money there, because I know since they flip it and they're always light, I'm going to get money too. Everything's like a circle.
Wow. Makes sense. What goes around comes around.
Yeah.
So do you always feel or intuit the highest potential or the best potential, or do they know the highest potential? Is it that they...
No, I don't know. I just flow with what I feel like it's the highest.
Okay. Okay. You're flowing with.
Everybody does it. You probably do it too. When you feel like something's calling you, like it's so bright, you want to do it like it's passionate for you, you are getting the best potentials. Those are the best potentials.
Right. Right. When you feel the feeling of flow and not the feeling of forcing, like you're trying to force something to happen, but you're more flowing, it's effortless.
Exactly. But that's a potential future. We just don't know it.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Carla, you talked about protection and people being protected. Are we always protected, or do we have to ask for that protection?
So they want to come in. So I'm going to start channeling. Is that okay with you?
Oh.
Because the questions that you ask, they're going to answer, and then they just want to talk to you. Is that okay?
By all means.
So you're going to know it's not me because my voice becomes very electronic.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's see who's coming. So I think it's gonna be the Pleiadians, okay? Yeah. Hi Jerome, it's the Pleiadians. We are so excited to be here with you through Carla. We just want to make sure that you understand 3 things that we're gonna say, okay? It's gonna help you to move on from this topic knowing more than you think. So number 1 or first is that obviously you have belief systems and they can be changed, but for this moment, we're just want to point one of them, okay? So you see this platform and this project and this talk that you are doing is giving you views and more people, but inside of you, very deeply, you believe that it would be wrong to charge every person that comes in the live, because if you charge them, then you're not gonna be that good. So second step we're gonna say, so you can change the belief system if you want, and you might notice the expansion within you, is that every person that is in this life wants to pay you. And then it's for you to receive their money with love so you can donate it or even expand it more, because you also want to travel and see and meet more people and create more projects, and you need that resource to do it. You understand? And then the third step is that you are not directly from our civilization, but we love you very much. And this is not Carla speaking, okay? So I'm going to stop a little bit, okay? They might come in later again.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh.
You have a blockage about something you want to do, like a desire, but then maybe you don't want to receive as openly as you could, because that has happened to me too. Like, we just want to give a lot, so you're not as open as how it's going to come, so that blockage blocks you so it could come faster.
Okay. Okay. That was very, I've never seen anyone do that before in front of me. That was, I'm still processing.
Yeah, I want to channel later to see if they talk about your purpose, because I like to talk about that for people.
Okay. Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people here that are asking questions. I don't know if you want to answer. Do we answer them or no?
This is your live. Yeah, feel free. Feel free.
I'm not going to answer. I just want to answer one. So there's one people that I think is from your community that he said we all have, what do you say? Reptilian DNA. And I feel like that's kind of a myth. So I just want to make sure that I kind of take that one down first.
Okay.
Okay. Oh no, they don't want to answer it, so I'll answer it later.
Okay.
So we're gonna go with your purpose. Are you ready?
We're ready. We're ready. This is in real time. Okay.
How do you feel about that, Jerome? How do you feel about your purpose? This is Carla. How do you feel about it?
When it comes to what I feel my purpose has been?
Or what you want to do?
You know, I've always it's interesting that you talked about traveling, because that's one of the things that I wrote down, is that I travel the world and inspire people in different countries. And I want to continue to use my voice to uplift this generation and the next, you know, to just keep that continuing to empower others, you know.
Very nice. Okay, so now you just raise the vibration, so the Arcturians want to come. So you see how it changes? Okay, I'm gonna bring them in, okay?
Okay.
Yes, so right now you're speaking to Arcturian number X005XYCTMOC. Hello.
Hello.
Now, we just want to tell you that we go by numbers and letters just because we want to make sure that we identify the difference between our energy and the previous energy. This one is going to be more direct and is going to guide you in a different way. Do you accept?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So right now, surrounding you, we are 4, 5, we might say, where we are taking away memories of you during your childhood, where we can see, Jerome, that you love music, but at that time, it was not okay for you to play music. So we want to make sure that if you do travel or do your purpose or meet people, you can also play your music without any guilt. We are also taking away the memory of not being fully loved by your parents because they are very dumb. And finally, we want to make sure that we install now in your subconscious the memory that you are a great musician, but also that your parents, you no longer need to carry them with you. And then another ship is coming through, so it's gonna help you with the process. Now, we want to talk very briefly about you, not specifically about what you do. So on Earth right now, your work is much needed, not as a job or a work, but as a being, as a human being that is going to share knowledge. Once you start again, Jerome, with the ideas or the projects that are going to lead you to be a consciousness that's going to start changing other consciousness, blockages might come like this one, like belief systems. We don't want you to worry because we know that you are very strong and this is not going to be an issue, but we just wanted to make sure that we could help you with the ones that maybe you don't remember, like your childhood, okay? So after this time, we are just going to ask you to rest and restore for a couple of days, and then you might notice in your heart the calling to connect with us even more. And that means you're more light, you're lighter. You no longer have those memories with you. Thank you, Carla, for the help.
Okay. Wow. Thank you.
Okay. So is that true about your childhood, Jerome?
There are so many bits and pieces of my childhood that I don't remember, you know, a lot of memories that are kind of hazy for me. But that relationship to music, I do resonate. You know, there was a time where playing music was different back then than the way that it feels today. It feels different to play today than it did back then. So I really do resonate with that. And when you do this for people, Carla, what are some of the transformations that you've seen within others when they allow themselves and they open themselves to receive these transmissions?
So it depends for the person. Like it depends on the person and what they're doing or what they need.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so I can't really say like all the channelings are just for every person.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I say something like it's not really me. So it depends on what you need. Like sometimes I might refer or I might say things that I just have no idea. Like I have no idea about anything that they might say. I'm just translating.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And even though you have no idea, where do you feel like you finally got the idea that this was your purpose, you know, to be able to channel for others? When did you feel that strongly?
Mm-hmm. So it was because like when I was going through that time, there was nothing I could do. So I couldn't walk. I couldn't go to the bathroom by myself. So I couldn't do anything. So I thought before that I was strong. So when that happened, I noticed that I was like, I was completely destroyed. So I was like, the only thing that I noticed that I wanted to do was to channel. So I kept doing it because it fills my heart. And like, I feel like even if not everybody's happy with what they say, because they're very strong. And they're, sometimes they're not sweet, they're very direct. Mm-hmm. It helps more people than not. Mm. So that's why I do it. Even though it's not easy because everybody's looking at you and everybody's judging, right? But I still do it because I know how much it can help, but you need to have a very open perspective. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And you said that channeling, it fills your heart. So channeling like charges you up as well.
Oh, for sure, yes. Okay. Like if I have an issue, I just channel, and it helps me. Okay.
Okay. There's never a point where you're too charged. Like, you know how a cell phone, when it gets plugged in to an outlet, it mm-hmm. comes to 100% and that's it. Do you ever feel like you're charged enough, like you don't need to charge anymore, or is it forever? Like, how does that work?
Sometimes I did charge, but yeah, right now I feel charged and I'm pretty tired. So I'm just tired, but I'm charged.
Okay.
Like when you do something you love, have you noticed like you do something that you love?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. So you're tired, but you're charged. So you're not exhausted.
Exactly.
Got it. Beautiful. Beautiful. So it's always like this receptivity. You're doing this for others, but they're also doing this through you. It's not coming to you, but it's flowing through you.
Yes. So everybody can access different beings. Mm-hmm. Depends on your belief systems and what you want to achieve. So like it seems like your purpose has like an Arcturian energy, so they want to come in and help you.
Okay.
Okay. So everybody can do it. Everybody's a channeler. It's just mm-hmm. awake or not.
I see. How would you advise somebody begin to develop a relationship with the beings that they're attuned to, or the ones that are attuned to them?
Yeah, so that was actually a good example, because I had a friend that she said she resonates a lot with the Pleiadians, but then she heard somewhere that the Pleiadians are not benevolent. That's what she heard. So what I felt, the message that was there for her is that if you resonate with light, so if you resonate with doing good, like if your intention is to do good, you're always gonna get a good being. So you're always gonna get a good flow because you create your own reality.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When you say you create your own reality, you know, sometimes we've heard so much about different laws, like the law of attraction or the law of radiation, you know. What does this differ when it comes to that, you know?
It's not different because it's all in the one. So you come from the one has like all these gifts, they call it gifts. So it's all of the gifts that you can use. But what I have found in my own perception is that it's not only the law of attraction. So the law of attraction is part of you, but you can also utilize the law of attraction more or less, or activate it more or less. Like it depends on how you are energetically. Like if I'm extremely tired, it's hard for me to access like joy because I'm so tired.
Mm. Okay, so it's almost like on a spectrum. So it's like, okay, love is over here or joy is over here, and you're like accessing them.
Yeah, like everybody would do it, but then you can, when you channel, you can access them, the higher ones faster,
Hmm.
but then you hit a low one, it feels so bad.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
okay,
horrible. So then from the horrible, it's harder to go to the higher ones because the good feels very good and the bad feels very bad.
I see. So, so if it's on a level like a spectrum and you're accessing love or joy, what would be above love?
Um, that's a good question. So I would say above love, there's nothingness, which feels very good.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, like when you feel part of the one, like being in the nothingness, it's like extremely expansive. So I would say that's on top of that.
The
Because
nothing, the nothingness.
nothingness, yeah. I mean, that's what I would say.
Oh my goodness. So the nothingness, is that kind of what someone might feel in deep states of meditation?
I believe so, yes.
So
Have you felt it?
when there's been times where I've been in a dark room, no lights on in the room, or had on a dark mask, to block out all my senses when it came to sight. And I've meditated for a long while. And at a certain point, Carla, I'll get to a state of nothingness,
Okay.
a state of, it's almost like everything and nothing at the same time. And I feel like I'm connected with it all,
Oh.
but it's that state. It felt blissful. That's all I know, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think that's what I was trying to say or what I was getting. I think that state is like very powerful.
Okay. Okay. So when are the times that you felt that state, the nothingness? What places you there?
Honestly, I think I felt it the most when I channeled the Andromedans because they're more in the nothingness state.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I also feel like very deep love when they feel very deep love for like the Arcturians. It's like a love with nothingness.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that our emotional scale is gonna change as we evolve. So we're not gonna feel as triggered. So we're just gonna become more resilient and flexible. So feeling like upset, like if you feel upset and you stay in the upset, for example, I saw a comment here, someone that wasn't too happy. So if they stay in that state too long, it's because their nervous system can get angry and stay angry for a long time, which happened to me the other day too. So you stay angry for a long time, so it's hard for you to get out of there. But as our emotional scale changes, then we don't feel the anger ever because there's no judgment, there's no good or bad. We're just like flow, we're fluid, so the body changes from dense to fluid, and we're just like open. So everything's okay, we're just open, everything's flowing. Um, there's no judgment, everything's acceptance, presence.
Mm-hmm. And you said that it depends on our emotional skill as the emotional skill changes?
The scale, yes. So we have emotional scale like anger, sadness, depression, right? Like guilt. And then we have the other side, which might be more forgiveness, love, union, right? So those emotions can connect us faster to higher dimensional planes, but sometimes we're too stuck in the low ones. And that's okay. There's no judgment, so that's okay. But once we stay there the longest, it's harder to go to the other ones because they all have a base that it's made out of like it's chemistry. So they're more dense, like more carbon, right? Water. And then the other ones are more fluid and gas. So you just change. It's not only the emotion, your body is molding to those realities.
Mm. Whoa, molding to the reality. So is it when you're acquiring new or developing these emotional skills? I like how you put that, emotional skills. Is it that the feeling is the secret? Like, in order to connect to a higher field, you have to connect to a higher feeling?
Yes, correct. So also something that I learned that if you spend a lot of time there, like if you spend a lot of time in like forgiveness, for example, then forgiveness likes you. So you might access forgiveness faster.
Faster.
Yeah, because some people are hard, like they have, like I used to have that, right? Like because of what happened to me, it was really hard to forgive others, right? So the doctor, the person that gave me the medication, like all of that, it was really hard to forgive. They started teaching me that because I had blockages around forgiveness, I wasn't accessing those parallel realities, which you don't have to forgive. That's also something else. But just for the sake of explaining, once you start accessing those parallel realities, then it's like you become their friend. So they want to pull you in. So that's why you don't go down that fast, because you're used to the high parallel reality. So they're always like pulling you in.
Okay. Okay. So being able to let go quicker is like being able to access forgiveness faster.
Yes, correct. Which that would be a blockage. I mean, in my eyes, that would be a blockage to not be able to move faster and forgive.
I see. I see. So when it comes to us not needing to forgive, you said that's something else. You don't actually have to forgive. What makes us think that we do?
Well, for me, like I'm open about it. Like what happened to me before the medication, and we can put the medication as an example, was that I was taught that it was weak to forgive. So if I forgive someone, I'm just being weak because I have to be strong, right? Like why would I forgive you for something bad that you did to me? So I just have to be strong and mean. That's the good way to go about it. So forgiveness is weakness. That was my belief.
But you changed or you reframed that belief?
Yeah, and I think it's society, like society, our parents, depending on how they forgave or what they did, then we get those belief systems.
Yeah, one of my friends told me, it is all BS. He said it's all belief systems. So we have to change and reframe those belief systems, the BS that we've been told or that we've been sold, that makes us feel like we've been controlled in that way, Okay. Okay. When you said also, Carla, I thought it was interesting. You talked about being in these states for longer periods of time, like being in forgiveness for a while. If you're in a state that's above love and above joy, and it's called the nothingness, how long could you be in that state? And could you really operate in that state? And what would you create from that state of nothingness?
Yeah, so I definitely would think that it would not look very, very, very human or like 3D. It would probably look different. We will be doing like multiple projects at once, and all of the projects would be following God or the One. So it's about no ego, all about service to others, all about expansion. But we could be doing a lot of things at once because the body doesn't get tired.
Okay, so endless energy, boundless.
Yeah, but if you live there, right? Because with like the day to day, sometimes it's difficult.
It reminds me of like, I think there's a biblical story of Enoch or someone in the Bible. Maybe it was Enoch or Elijah, but one of them was in that state of where they were just doing, going, and it was just so much that they said they were one of the only people that God took without them having to pass on naturally. They just were taken, God just took them. And it's interesting because you said God or the One, and I'm thinking those two are, like they're the same being. What do you feel these galactic beings like the Andromedans, the Pleiadians, the Lemurians, the Arcturians, how do they see God?
It depends on which ones.
Okay. Is God like a concept to them, or is God like
We are all gods. So they think that we are all gods. So we are all part of the One.
Okay.
But they do have different belief systems or platforms that they use to communicate with the One. So it might be more like ships, like the ships get messages. They might get messages to do things. It might be channeling, because you could be in a body like on Earth getting messages from the One. Because I feel spiritual teachers are following the One. Like they're following, I don't know if you ever heard about Bentinho Massaro. Like I used to follow him in the past. his teachings right now make so much sense because I'm like, oh, that makes sense. It's from a higher perspective. But at the moment, I wouldn't get them.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, we're all one. So that's one of the rules. So we're all one, but we all have our own filters.
Mm-hmm. And you talked about we're all one, but there's also the one,
Mm-hmm.
which they see us as gods. It reminds me of The Matrix. You ever seen The Matrix, Carla?
Yeah.
And you know, Morpheus told Neo, they told Neo, you are the one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So for me also, this kind of like teaching is difficult. I haven't gotten too much there because it's like extremely expansive. But from what I'm getting, it's the same as the Matrix. Like you can choose to wake up or not. You can choose to change dimensions or not. But then the one is never changing. So the one is never changing. It just decides to incarnate through us and give us like a personality, a name, to experience like life in another dimension, in another perspective, to at the end come back to the one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. When you say we can choose to awaken or not, why do you feel some people might choose to stay asleep?
Well, I was very asleep. So I always put my own example. I was super asleep. I didn't believe in anything. I was working in a hospital, so it was all about science, facts, like nothing else. And it wasn't on purpose that I wanted to be asleep. I was just in deep trauma. So I feel like trauma blinds you.
Mm. Okay.
I don't think
so.
Choice. Nobody wants to have a bad time.
Mm-hmm. So it's blinding you from seeing something that you're not seeing.
Yeah, like I don't think anyone that's asleep wants to be asleep. I just think sometimes it's baggage that we have, and it doesn't let you see like a higher perspective of where you can go, because it's all about where you can go. So what else can I do? Where else can I go?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, it happened to me. So since I was indeed so negative, there was no way that nothing could help me. So I was just in a circle, like a hamster.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you know, when you say no one wants to stay asleep or no one would want to be asleep, I'm sure you've already heard, Carla, sometimes people saying the expression like ignorance is bliss, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
People who think maybe, you know, oh, what you don't know can't hurt you, or ignorance is bliss. How do you feel about that phrase?
Honestly, when I'm channeling the Andromedas, I feel like ignorance is bliss, because sometimes it's it's too much, and I'm like, I need to stop. Like one time I said I need to stop for a few days because they were teaching me about how everything's ever changing, so everything changes all the time. So I felt like nothing was never gonna not change. So it was like too much. But yeah, I think that was a strong one. So it depends. It depends on the type of like ignorance. Because if you ask me if I would rather be knowing a little bit more or not, I would say yes. Even though it's hard to get the new concepts, I would say yes. Because also being ignorant can make you stay like stuck.
Okay. So you'd rather not be in stagnancy. You'd rather keep moving. You'd rather keep growing. You'd rather keep going.
What about you?
Okay. I agree. You know, that's why I love these conversations, you know. I'm already expanded. You know,
That's
you
not.
just did, like this is part of my path when it comes to expanding myself is learning and seeing through the eyes of someone else, you
Yeah,
know?
I agree. Like, and sometimes, and I know most of the times I never say this, and I don't like to put myself in the spot of a victim, but I feel it now. Like sometimes people don't know how hard it is to channel or to come with the beings and just be yourself in that energy, because everybody might think you're crazy or strange. So being brave to show yourself for me is super important all the time, because that's just gonna give you expansion all the time, no matter how hard it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, Carla, thank you for your bravery. Thank you for, you know, your vulnerability. Thank you for your openness, your willingness. to do this, you know, to do what many are not do. Yeah.
Thank you. No, I want to thank you too because you're very open. I said I feel very comfortable, and I feel like maybe most people that you interview must feel so loved and comfortable, and that's definitely a skill, and you do it from love. So that's definitely something I appreciate, and that you don't feel all the time in the interviews, because sometimes people are not giving that energy to you. So I do feel very appreciated. So I want to say thank you.
Right. Blessings. You know, it's not every day that we have conversations, that I have conversations like this, so I appreciate it, you know, and I'm definitely going to be watching the replay again to really get all the nuggets, you know, because I just did my best, like I said, to soak it up and to just be a sponge and let what you needed to transmit come through. So blessings once again. Thank you, you know.
No, it's been my pleasure, and I hope you keep going where you want to go, because I know you said you want to travel and expand the information, and I do hope that you get even more and more connected with the Arcturians or the Pleiadians or yourself, because you know, like, your soul is there with you all the time. So I mean, you gave me expansion today.
Oh, awesome.
I feel the same.
I'm glad. I'm glad it's mutual, you know. I'm glad.
Yeah. I don't know if you have any other questions. I can definitely help you.
So I have one more question, you know, for anybody, if this is their first time viewing you or their first encounter with you, what would you suggest for people to receive your services? If you could just let us know where we can find you, where people can come, and what you offer for people.
Yeah, so I do, sometimes I do free lives. So I do lives where people can come, and I dedicate that live completely to answer questions. Or they might teach a topic, so people just come in. So it's kind of like educational. That's in my Instagram here. And I also do groups and private sessions with different beings. So most of the time, it's always the Andromedans. But since it was for you this time, you noticed it was different. So it was the Pleiadians and the Arcturians.
Mm-hmm. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So people can have one-on-ones with you and receive that, as well as their free lives that you give freely as well.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, I don't do them all the time, because I know I've been to your Qigong classes, by the way. Yeah, no, I don't do them every day, but when I do them, I always let people know before so they can join if they want to.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Carla, thank you once again. It's been a pleasure. You know, this has been so expansive, and I'm inspired to continue learning, to continue this journey. Thank you.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Me too. Okay, keep doing what you're doing, and thank you so much for the space and the respect. Okay.
All right. All right.
Bye.
Bye.